Hello and welcome to week 4 of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Community Winter League Tournament. This is our last live matchup of the week. We got a couple of async VODs that may be coming your way, so look out for those, but this is our last live race, and our racers tonight are aaron2u2 on the top left, Zatrex17 on the top right, and Quinn Patrick on the bottom left, and all three of these racers on the verge of making the playoffs, so this is a pretty exciting race. My name is Hoodie Two Shoes. I'm joined in the booth by Ziggy. Ziggy, how you feeling tonight? And what do you think about this matchup and this rando percent?
I'm pretty excited to watch this. This is all three players that are in position to make the playoffs that had decent 3 weeks. And the flag set of rando percent is always fun. So basically, we can't really tell you what the seed is going to look like tonight because pretty much every flag that can be tri-stated is tri-stated, which means that it can be either on or off. Either the monsters are going to be normal or chaos. The map is going to be small or very small or large. There's going to be a lot of swamp or just regular swamp. We have no idea. So we're going to discover this with you at the same time, and our players will also discover it, and we'll have to wade through the rando to discover the way to handle this seed.
Yeah, we're going to have to furiously try to figure out which flags rolled on and off. One thing we know for sure is that there are no alternate win conditions that are active, so you're going to have to kill the Dragon Lord to beat the seed, so that much we know. And with Summer Sale and Treasure Guards being tri-stated, we understand the implications of that. We won't have to figure anything out with those. So it looks like we got two of our racers using the winter theme. Those with those blue outlines there are going to be having a little bit of a wintry time. Aaron is going to be using, I think he's got that alt kind of sprite set with a little bit of the smoother stone, so look out for that.
Yeah, I think he's using the regular Japanese old sprite set, and I believe our players are starting. We're in the throne room, and we have no NPCs. All the NPCs are going to be invisible, but we are going to be able to see our players tonight.
Yeah, and that's helpful, especially if there's going to be a count. It's always a little bit easier to count when you can see your sprite, and with a gold start, I think it's pretty clear that we have shuffled chest contents, and we have keys.
And we have keys. And we have 11 strength, 7 agility, and at 33 HP there's a good chance that the big swamp is on. And no spells at level 1, even though our players had 10 MP, so it's also possible that regular spells are on, so that means heal more at level 17, which is always fun.
We see a 5 XP to level 2, so that points, it's not guaranteed, but looking like we might have the regular fast XP here, and with a red slime that dies to 3 damage and gives 2 XP, we might have standard stats and reward enemies.
And potentially standard zones as well.
Yeah, I have to see if we see anything besides a red or blue slime in Zone 0, but very early indications that things are looking pretty vanilla so far at the start. I think we did see that the random chest location flag looked like it rolled on. I thought the treasury had non-standard locations for those chests, if I remember.
Yeah, that's correct. So only blue and red slime, so we have standard zones, we have standard monsters, they have standard value, we have what seems to be standard levels. So this is a pretty vanilla seed, except that I'm pretty sure this is Big Swamp, if I look north of Tantagel.
Yeah, in terms of randomization, it looks like the random chest locations and then the searches and chest contents will be shuffled as well. So we at least have that going for us for some nice random action.
13 AP is a little bit weak for ghosts, but I believe that's where Aaron is going to go. Zatrex is also trying to kill there, whereas Quinn is staying in Zone 0 with only red slimes and blue slimes. And he's going to be the first to level 3.
And very much confirming here, I think that we have regular XP requirements for fast. And yeah, with heal at 3, it's looking pretty suspicious for vanilla spell learning here.
So it's a very vanilla seed to start with. The chests were gold, right, at the start. So this is not vanilla locations. So we don't know where the armor is, we don't know where the flute is, and all of these little things. So our players are going to have to explore the map.
And this is starting, I want to call it a peninsula here. It looks like it's pretty locked into Zone 0, maybe Zone 1 a little bit, but everything else is going to be Swamp. So if you're looking to get some early levels, you might be kind of pigeonholed into these not excellent enemies.
Well, Aaron seems like he found probably the Mountain 1 zone. Because he just killed a Droll on the overworld.
Yeah, he's pretty far south. He might have found a zone boundary there, and that could be very helpful. Just sneaking out of that Zone 0 area into something that is, worthwhile. Especially now at level 4 with Hurt, these enemies will get your levels up pretty decently. But with the Drake, even with Hurt more.
Yep. So the monsters do not have standard abilities. It's going to be new discovery for every monster.
And something I haven't mentioned yet, but Aaron and Quinn were the number 1 and number 2 participants in terms of finishing for last year's Winter League tournament. So a little bit of a finals rematch here, and we'll have to see. All of the racers in this are very capable of taking home 5 points.
Considering Aaron is the one that eliminated me last year, I'm going to root for Quinn just a little bit. Being very professional as a commentator.
Yeah, Quinn, very proficient in these Winter League flags, is always someone to look out for in this tournament. We're likely going to get a good dose of some hurts and some fighting, drolls and poltergeist here at the beginning. I'm not sure that we're going to get much else unless somebody decides to be real brave and poke their head far out.
Yeah, but look, well, Hoodies, it seems like Quinn is trying to go out. Hasn't had much success because it seems like the swamp is very, very long. I do not believe Quinn has found the little corner of the island that has the different zones, so I believe he's trying to kill these stronger enemies in the swamp.
Yeah, Skeleton is a great enemy to find, so if you're able to get those without taking too much swamp damage, it's going to be pretty nice, but being able to not have to use your resources to heal will be an advantage for our racers, and especially the 1 in 8 zone with the mountains versus the 1 in 16 with the swamp.
Yeah, and finding a good zone seems very important right now because the stats are not... We haven't talked about the stats gains in the levels, but they haven't been really exciting so far.
Yeah, looking like around 36 strength right now with no weapons, and we have the spell of Hurt, but we know that Hurt more is not coming until 19. So unless you can find a good weapon or a big strength upgrade, you're just going to be kind of chipping away.
Very unlikely we'll see Hurt more tonight. And Quinn just discovers the Hurt more.
Yeah, the Dracula is fully capable, has the wizarding license, spell casting, plenty, but our hero is more with the brute force, it looks like.
I mean, murder bats are a thing in this game. There's always one of the 3 that is a murder bat. It's kind of a classic.
And it does look like this zone that Quinn is in the swamp is the same zone as the other 2 races are in the mountains, and just unfortunate that he didn't go to that bottom row there and find the same information, because it would be a little bit more optimal to be down in that mountain zone.
Yep, there's 2 reasons for this. The first one, of course, the swamp deals damage, and the second is that mountains are 1 in 8. Every 8 step you rate to get 1 encounter, whereas the swamp is 1 in 16. So it's gonna take 32 damage for every encounter, which can take a little while. Level 6 gives 7, 2, 12, and 1.
The XP is looking pretty even though, however, despite, Quinn not being in the optimal location, so still working out okay to get that XP, and he's broken free from the swamp and found a town.
Ooh, there's a town, yeah. Sadly it's brick, but we'll take it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Breckenary. Here's our first chance. We could see if there are random prices, and if it looks like Vanilla Shop.
Vanilla Shop random prices. That bamboo pole is not a good deal, I believe.
Yeah, 6,000 or 5,000 for the pole. That's a lot of money. So it's great that the prices are random because you could potentially get a flame sword or a silver shield for cheap. But with the vanilla shops, finding Breckenary first is pretty much the worst option.
Also, as soon as we have keys, it's important to remember before you have keys, in which town you've seen random chests, because you might have to come back and not forget one, which can be a little bit difficult towards the end to remember which town you've checked at 100% with keys. Keys can be very important in random chest locations. Oof, Demon Knight, and that is the end of the exploration for Quinn.
Yeah, and something that if you're used to just playing standard seeds or others, you may not be as in the muscle memory of refilling your keys as often, but like you said, with all those doors that could potentially lead to chests in the towns, being on top of your key count is incredibly important when random chest locations are on.
Yep, there's, for example, you could have to use 3 keys to actually explore all the chests in Garanum. You could need 3 keys also in Rimeldar. Also 3 keys in Cantlin, so it can add up really, really quick. And you end up in a situation where you use your last key and you cannot go buy more. It could be a factor.
And that is not as unlikely of a situation as it seems, just because you get so much on your mind with all these flags that you're trying to figure out. It's very easy to overlook refilling your keys.
Zatrex is doing a really good job of grinding right now, and I believe he's going to hit level 7 with this skill. He's taking a little bit of an Nyx build, and he's going to learn Sleep with this level, which is going to help exploration.
Definitely. Only 1 power, but...
1, 4... Well, that's not much of a level, though.
But yeah, the diligence here down with the grind has put Zatrex out to a little bit of an early lead, and we'll have to see if that can, parlay into a further lead.
He's a man after my own heart. I love grinding.
Yeah.
From the look of... Whoops, sorry, you can go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's almost never bad to get XP. It's almost always the right choice.
Yeah, you're right. Stop spell can be a very, very useful spell, so grinding to level 10, I like to do that at the very least in these kinds of situations.
And especially because of last week's vanilla experience, the Napoleon, what is it? Oh man, I can't even remember. But yeah, the vanilla-like experience, I think our racers should be pretty familiar with what spells come when, and their strategies, I think, should be a little bit honed here with this spell learning.
So Aaron should be getting level 7 next. Yeah, with the kill of this droll, and then he's going to be disappointed at the stats. And I don't think Zatrex and Aaron are going to stop grinding. I don't think that level is it. And that zone is not too bad. It turns out it's Mountain 2 zone or Grave 1 zone. And honestly, at this power level, it's pretty much the best you can hope for. The thing is, if Quinn were to actually find that zone in the mountains, I believe he's found a zone that's similar.
Yeah, Skeletons in the desert is pretty good.
And he has that Copper Sword, would make a big difference, actually.
Yeah, that 10 extra attack power, especially on these enemies, going to make a real big difference. So if he's able to one-shot or you use fewer resources and stay in this desert, could very easily catch up. And with the next level coming at 600, these are just fine enemies to go and do that. Looks like Aaron's pushing out a little bit.
Aaron might find Breckenary pretty soon. If you go south from the little path that opens up to the right, he's going to find Breckenary, and he's got enough gold for the Copper Sword.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember what the prices were on something like the leather armor or the small shield. They might have been a little bit out of reach with the random prices, but we definitely know that Copper Sword is attainable.
They were in the 4 digits. So that's why Quinn ended up buying clothes.
Well, it's cold. He's got that winter theme on, so the more bundling up you can do, the better, I would say.
Ooh, the spell has no effect, and manages to sleep the green dragon. He might still be able to get the Breckenary.
That's pretty fantastic. Yeah, and the Copper Sword at this point is a very nice boon. Getting you from 44 to 54 is really going to help on the defense that these enemies have that they're fighting right now.
Yeah, leather armor is 6,500, and small shield at 2,000 something.
It looks like Aaron has the same equipment choices as Quinn. The game has forced him into it. We'll see the chest in Brecconary, so likely to remember that may need to come back. This might be one of those seeds that funnels you in one direction. I'm not sure if there maybe is going to be a branch, but so far it kind of looks like it's there's a bottleneck for sure.
Yeah, there just seems to be two outs to the big swamp that's out of Tentacle. Quinn right now is in the northern path out, and Brecconary seems to be in the eastern path out. So far, Quinn has found nothing. And when he explored to the east, he got kicked out by Demon Knight, so... I think he's running out of areas he can explore. He doesn't have the resources now to move out of here.
Well, level 8 came with, 7 more strength, so that's pretty helpful for Zatrex, although he does not have the copper sword like the others do, so a little bit behind their attack power.
Right, but the stats right now that really would not make me want to explore right now is the agility. It's really not growing. 29 agility at level 8, not good. And since the monsters are not chaos, this is just regular runaway formula, so...
Yeah, and I don't think the alt-run algorithm is on as well, so you run into some of those harder to run from enemies, you're going to have a bad time.
Like this knight, but can put him to sleep. Oh, Aaron's going to actually try to kill the knight.
Yeah, I love the sleep hurt plays. Sleep and hurt, very valuable, and with the knight having hurt itself, this could be a very good fight for Aaron here.
Yeah, 78 is a big chunk of experience at this point.
Ooh,
Star Wyvern might be a bit much, though, yeah.
I wonder, is that maybe a different zone? Because it seems like we've got vanilla zones on. Is there a knight in a Star Wyvern zone, or is it maybe he crossed into a new zone there?
It's a good question. No, there's no knight in Hawks. I don't know the vanilla zones at all. I've never really speedrun the vanilla game, so I have no idea. Maybe chat knows.
Maybe there's like a Star Wyvern Demon Knight zone by Cantlin. Okay, sure. So then that makes sense. That makes that night zone a little bit less appealing. If it was one of the other night zones, you might be more inclined to stay, but you don't really want to deal with the Star Wyvern.
Essentially, Quinn has been pushing exploration for a while. Zatrex has been grinding the whole time. Aaron has explored for a while, and now he's come to the conclusion that it's better for him to grind.
Yeah, Zatrex definitely stretching out that XP lead by just kind of keeping the head down and going for it. And it's working out pretty well so far.
Quinn is looking for a zone to grind. The fact that Quinn has never found that little corner in the beginning island... I wouldn't say he's behind right now because he's seen a lot more of the map and his experience is still quite competitive. But now that Aaron has the copper sword, if he sits down in this zone for a while, he might be gaining a lead.
Yeah, I think it's worth the gamble a little bit. You're hoping to find maybe like a wolf or a zone with wolf lords or some mid-game enemies with that sleep and hurt that you could maybe accelerate with, but not finding that, I think it makes a whole lot of sense to get back to what you know and just kind of eke out your XP.
Oof, Quinn did not have the luck Aaron had with the knight. It did not see the hurt, and the sleep did not land, and the knight sends Quinn back home.
That's rando, baby.
That is rando.
Now, we'll have to see. It looks like Quinn is going to stick with the plan of leaving the Tantagel area and trying to find some kind of greener pastures, while the other two are going to stick in that bottom row of mountains and just deal with that, Mountain 1, Grave 1, Mountain 2, is that it?
Yeah, I believe. So, yeah, I think the place Quinn has found that zone way north of the swamp, and I would like for him to go back there because it seemed to be very good for him. But Zatrex just sitting down and killing forever is getting really, really close to level 9. No spells at level 9, but it might give the stats that would push Zatrex to want to start exploring a little bit.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, some agility would potentially also be pretty helpful. You want the strength and the HP. You're not getting the spells, but some agi might kind of entice you to go looking out a little bit more, because 29 is not very much.
7? 15 agility, there it is. 12 HP, 15 magic, and oh no, you actually do get a spell. You get Radiant, and actually Radiant is an important spell in this flag set right now that we have, because chests can be in weird spots in dungeons, and having Radiant will reduce the amount of moving you have to do to find them by a lot. So Radiant's kind of useful. Zatrex gets denied by some invisible knight.
Yeah, Radiant and Outside both punching a little bit above their weight class here in this flag set. Nobody wants to walk all the way back out of grave. One thing that could go for Quinn is with the random weapon prices, if Quinn is able to find a town like Cantlin or something that has good equipment and it's cheap, picking up some good offense and defensive equipment could put Quinn right back in a great position.
Yeah, that's right, and I believe the gold standard here would be Rimildar. Not only would he have keys, but also the shop is kind of good. Maybe he could get a magic armor that's kind of cheap. Broadsword.
Yeah, Rim would be great for access to the keys and the guaranteed broadsword and magic armor, which I think would be pretty likely to be affordable. Not a guarantee.
Oh, it's never a guarantee in Rando. I believe Zatrex has started exploring now.
Yep, got that agility boost and is going to push out. We'll see if Zatrex finds a Brecconary in the first like the other ones have, or if he's going to go a slightly different direction and maybe end up somewhere else.
Yeah, he ended up north. He took the north path out of the swamp, so I don't think he's going to find Brecconary anytime soon.
Aaron's still hanging out in that trusty zone in the south there. So it's like a warm blanket. You know what you're getting, and we'll see if he makes a similar choice to explore at level 9 and maybe find some better zones with that extra agility.
I mean, with these stats, this is pretty much the best zone you can get, with the possible exception of the Rimildar zone with wolves and metal scorpions.
Yeah, Quinn's got a Spectre, so find a nice mid-game zone here. This might be a pretty great opportunity for Quinn to really catch up and then pull ahead on XP with the amount of resources he has. This could be great.
Yep, just gotta see if it's going to be Grave 2 or Grave 3. Grave 3 would have Rate Nice, which could be a problem, but the rest of the enemies are going to be pretty good for him.
Looks like Weak Breath and Heal More on the Droll Magi. Might consider goes for the sleep now. And Droll Magi are a very sleepable enemy, so that utility spell is gonna come real handy here.
And Baby Breath. Got worried for a second. There's always this half a second of worry when you start seeing the animation for the first time. Like, is it going to do 20? Is it going to do 70? This time it was 20. And he gets the kill.
Yeah, just some part of your brain gets a little bit of panic when you hear that breath noise, and you kind of hold your breath.
Also, the zone is very close to Brecconary, so he has a healing point here. So yeah, I think if I'm Quinn, yeah, I'm sitting here for a little bit.
Yeah, you stay here forever, essentially. I mean, not forever, but this is pretty good, and especially with vanilla zones on. What is the Green Dragon the highest overworld enemy you're going to run into?
Rate Knight, I believe. Wait, the Grave 2 zone, I'm not sure what is the top enemy.
I think that there's green dragons in the Hawksness zone, so you get like Werewolf, Green Dragon, Star Wyvern, that kind of stuff.
Right, oops, and the Wolf Lord sends Quinn Patrick home. The Wolf Lord has heal, it seems. 3 experience away for Quinn.
This is one of those circumstances where the enemy abilities being random can either be helpful in the case of getting that hurt cast on the knight, or it can be harmful in the case of like a heal or a hurt more or a heal more on the back end of an enemy.
Right, and Zatrex completed the exploration of the entire north part of the swamp exit, and there is nothing there. So the only path where there's stuff is the Brecconary area.
Aaron sees a wolf zone here in the swamp. We'll have to see if he's gonna look to get out of the swamp and find a zone that's not going to be doing 2 damage a step. But not bad to get a wolf while you can.
I don't know if that zone will extend in the forest, in the island to the west. We'll have to see.
Something to note for later with these vanilla zones is that we will absolutely have an Axe Knight on the spike in Hawksness, and the Green Dragon will be guarding the princess in the swamp, and there's going to be a golem on the spike in the bottom of Hawksness. So we may see the flute picked up here for the runners in the case where they might otherwise not pick it up if they have the option.
I mean, we know the monsters as are standard, and we know a golem will have to be defeated before we fight the Dragon Lord. So just to save yourself from losing 1 heal more, I think it's usually very, very worth to grab the flute in these situations. Also, if we end up with a short Sharlock, it's possible the golem becomes the grind spot for the end of the game.
Yeah, that could be interesting. That'll be the only golem available on the seed. So that would be, if you're able to take that down and it's easily accessible, pretty much the best grind you could hope for. And with the random abilities, it could have something like Stop Spell Hurt. That would be the dream.
And funny thing here, all 3 of our players really picked different ways to tackle the seed. And they're all within 50 experience of each other with the same pretty much equipment, except for clothes. And I've explored more or less the same amount. This is kind of interesting. They're kind of all converging to pretty much the same situation 25 minutes in.
Yeah, that's really cool. You just love to see it. And with, high caliber players, people that know what they're doing, not surprising to see them all figuring something out.
Yep, 90% of this flag set is finding the best way out, and often there's multiple ways out, and it's often a good idea to use the way you're more comfortable with, that you understand the most. The Zatrex just went and grinded the most, and Quinn went more exploration, and Aaron went a little bit between the two. Aaron also finishes the island at the north and finds nothing. The only thing we know now, however, is that we have a normal map. So it's 120 by 120. We could have gotten a very, very small map, which is 60 by 60, which is 4 times smaller, actually, in practice.
Yep, and even though it's a normal map, we are, at least here in chat, blessed with it being one of those, bridge-heavy, watery, craggy, twisty-turny maps where you could get lost or have a hard time. And with the big swamp, this is interesting exploration for sure.
Yeah, I didn't count how many bridges there was in Aaron's screen, just a little bit above, but I think it's 5 or 6 bridges right on the same screen.
Yeah, the map is really
buzzy.
It's gonna make them work for it on this one. There's no free lunch here.
Yeah, normal map with no heal more until level 17 and big swamp, and we don't know where the armor is. That's always interesting. And level 10 for Quinn Patrick.
Yep, and with the no armor and Sharlock flag tri-stated, we don't know if the armor is guaranteed on the overworld or not, so there's a potential that the armor could be in Sharlock. And if that's the case, boy, getting around this map is never really going to get that much easier.
Yeah, before the stream, we were talking in Discord about how we haven't seen a real slug, because this flag set can create absolute awful slugs, and we haven't seen one yet. So, still
this
a little bit of
the
potential.
Normally you might think that the real slog is going to come from the chaos enemies with torches unavailable and everything has super high agility, but here we've just got pretty vanilla enemies, but the map may be the reason that, we can't get anything done.
Quinn here, very, very lucky. On the first attempt, manages to talk to the lady that sells fairy water. You can have to try a few times since they're invisible. Sometimes you try all 3 and she moved while you were moving, and you have to try all 3 again.
Yeah, if the NPCs didn't troll us enough when we could see them, it's even worse when they're invisible.
We'll see if Aaron turns back into the swamp, because he just found a Druid Lord. Nope, he keeps moving.
And brought up in chat, we saw gold in the throne room, and we have not seen really many chests or anything, so it'd be interesting. The runners probably want to find Sharlock to see if it's open or if they're going to need to get the homework items.
Yep. So getting keys very important. Knowing what state of Sharlock is very important. And finding a decent zone. So here it looks like it would be the zone that is south of Rimeldar that Aaron is in right now. So that could also be a good grinding zone.
We've got Cantlin here for Zatrex, and we know for sure that there's a broadsword and a large shield available without keys. The large is not incredibly discounted from what it could be, but we'll have to see if the broadsword and full plate down at the bottom, may be a little bit more accessible with these random prices.
Or magic armor. Magic armor is in the bottom shop. Let's see it. Full plate.
Oh, baby.
Well, magic armor 248 as well. Yeah, you can afford it. Let's go.
And it's a
weapon-wise,
pretty expensive. I think it was like 5,000 and 6,000 respectively for the broadsword and the hand axe there. So looks like we're gonna have to wait for keys to see what the flame sword is. But I don't think that anyone's getting more than a copper sword unless they find keys or Erdrick's sword.
Right. Or, well, the hand axe. I don't think we've seen the hand axe yet. Also,
I think that the hand
Aaron
axe
just
was in
found the
that bottom
flute.
shop. I think it was like 5K.
Aaron just found the flute in Swamp North.
So yeah, it looks like Zatrex and Aaron both opening up the map a little bit, finding different locations. Potentially could come into the back of Tantagel or into Garenhem, coming through this swamp. Coming into the back of Tantagel, I think, would be very good because you'd get those keys.
No, it's just in the back of more swamp, essentially.
That's
Swamp into
too bad.
swamp into swamp.
The swamp is certainly running the seed right now, and even still, the XP is within 100. So despite kind of the diverging paths and playstyles, everybody is still right neck and neck.
Right, yeah, everybody's just hit level 10, with Zatrex hitting level 10 here. And I think Zatrex is going to sit here a little bit.
Yeah, this Wolflord zone, generally the zones that Wolflords are in are pretty good.
Oh, that's an interesting choice. Personally, I believe I would have killed, since Zatrex has seen the price of the broadsword, I think I would have killed the Goldman here.
Yeah, for that 600 gold, knowing that there's not anything that's incredibly affordable up until that flame sword, potentially, we don't know, but that 600
Aaron.
gold would help you.
Aaron's finding everything. He found a cave and he found Garenhem. Yeah, hand axe at 6,400, yeah.
Expensive. Yeah, I thought I saw it before, so confirmed that copper sword is all we're getting unless they find keys and the flame sword is affordable, or they get the sword. It really seems like the slow and steady grind play at this point is going to pay off. If you find Erdrick's sword, that is the hope for getting ahead, but other than that, I think you're just going to have to grit your teeth and get this XP any way you can.
Maybe there's something that's going to pull Aaron ahead. Oh, there is a monster to kill right there, the Magic Wyvern, so that means there is an important chest in Tablet.
And this will be very illuminating. If it's one of the key items, we'll know that Sharlock is not open, but otherwise, if Sharlock is open, this is guaranteed to be the sword or the armor, so we'll have to see here what happens.
Third hit. Probably the next hit kills, not guaranteed. Decides to swing. 17, that's the kill. Let's see what the item is. It is the Stones of Sunlight. Sharlock is closed. We're gonna have to find all of the key items.
That makes me kind of happy. It would have been too easy. The seed's looking a little bit menacing right now. It would have been a little bit too kind if it was going to give up the goods that easy. So I'm pleased.
I love how you think. And
Oh,
a
and there's
token
a token,
also.
wow. Erdrick's Cave really living up to its name in this seed, otherwise lovingly referred to as the Tablet Cave. And just like that, Aaron's got 2/3 of the homework items.
He has, but no keys, no sword, no armor. So you're happy to have gained information here, but it's 30 minutes into the seed. You still don't have keys. You're not very high level. You haven't seen much, despite exploring a lot. I believe all three of our players could feel a little bit worried about this.
When this Wyvern zone real close to... Oh, but the DL2 breath, that is, you know...
Toasty. That's toasty.
Yeah, that's a little bit of vinegar in the punch bowl there.
Well, Zatrex is enjoying his raid zone. Wraith and Wolf Lords and Metal Scorpions, and he's going to hit level 11. Bit of an XP lead now. 10 power, 4 agility, 28 HP.
That's real nice. And yeah,
that helped a lot.
The decision to stick to this zone is looking to work out pretty well here. Like in a seed like this, I think finding a reliable zone to grind in is it's kind of like gold. And with that magic armor and the large shield, is pretty much kitted out as best as you could hope for right now.
Right, and with these stats, I guess you could challenge the Green Dragon, but it would be kind of a slow fight. With the broadsword, it would be a little bit better. But maybe at level 12, you become strong enough to challenge and grind the Green Dragon, and then that becomes your grind. So opening up that grind can very often be the way out of these kinds of seeds, because as you said earlier, we know it's the Green Dragon in Swamp Cave, and it is the Armor Knight in Hawksness.
Yeah, and with the random enemy abilities, one thing you could hope for in this situation is maybe there's some spells on one of the spikes that you could stop spell and then get some easy fights, but there's nothing guaranteed with that. So taking what you know and sticking in this zone for Zatrex, I think makes a whole lot of sense. And we'll have to see how long he can stay here with that 31 MP. I think kind of a while.
With magic armor, forever. I think in that group of enemies, the only ability that's quote-unquote problematic is the heal on the Wolf Lord, and that's it, nothing else. Whereas Quinn is having to deal with pretty annoying, Drow Magi, with Heal More and the Baby Breath.
Yeah, definitely. And, they're both 1 and 8, but with the kind of frame delay on those hills, it is a little bit less advantageous to be in the mountains than it is on the desert.
That's right, and Aaron's been exploring, saves himself on the last attempt against a wizard, found a bit of a tough zone. And there's no way. He's gonna go back.
Getting the business from a Star Wyvern here. Gets blocked twice.
I mean, they got a bit of agility with that plus 15, but 45 agility is you don't feel extremely safe against Sherlock enemies.
Yeah, and 45 is kind of right in the area where I think it's a little bit maybe more likely to run from the Star Wyvern than to try the sleep, but kind of half dozen of one, 6 of the other in that situation.
Yeah, it's a little bit better than 50%, around 58, 59 I would say. But yeah, sometimes agility is just a number, and it can happen even if you have low agility. You can get unlucky even if your agility is low. That's something that happens.
Zatrex just hanging out in this area, just steadily increasing that XP lead. It's only about 400 right now on Quinn, but I think it's pretty relevant, especially knowing that we need to go to 17 and that the equipment isn't really going to get much better.
Aaron very courageously defeats a Wyvern, which we know has.
It's really too bad that Wyvern has the Dragon Lord breath, because that would be such a good zone of enemies to fight if you were feeling good about that fight.
Yeah, right next to Garanum, that would be phenomenal.
But yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else has gone this direction that Zatrex is, but this zone is definitely looking kind of like, to use the space term, a Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, that's right, and he's the only one that has found Cantland so far, so I don't think anybody else has went in that direction already.
Yeah, and the armor boost and the hurt more resistance and the 1 in 4 tile healing definitely going to play a part, as Aaron's the first one to locate Charlock. He already knew that it wasn't open, but we can just see it with our eyes now.
Yeah, if the armor is in Charlock with that amount of swamp around Charlock, that's going to be very interesting. So Aaron ended up, he's on the complete east of the map.
Aaron has definitely spanned the biggest distance here, I would say. Is a little bit behind on XP, but is ahead in terms of having 2 of the 3 homework items and a lot of map knowledge.
Quinn has upgraded his grinding zone now. Ooh, there's a town for Aaron.
And Quinn taking on Demon Knights. Hopefully doesn't miss too many attacks, but with the amount of HP, these are definitely gettable.
Note keys. So Aaron finds Hawksness a little bit in the middle of nowhere. He doesn't have the stats or the resources right now to take on an Axe Knight. So
yeah, kind of an unfortunate town to find there in this position. Would have loved to find Rim, like you were saying.
Or maybe Mountain or Grave with a key in it, but neither of our players have found any of these locations yet.
Yeah, I think the only cave that we've really seen was the Tablet Cave, and it paid off for sure.
It paid off, yeah, and the flute in Swamp.
That's right, yeah. Which again is relevant in this seed because we know that there is a standard stats golem waiting in the Charlock Spike.
Zatrex is taking on a green dragon. He's going to get the kill and level 12 with it. Alright, how good is 12? We get 2, 2, 2. Oh, come on, MP, why? Could have been 2, 2, 2, 2, but no. 13.
That's pretty great. And looks like this zone is not going to be too difficult for Aaron, but his resources are kind of low, so we'll have to see if he's going to be able to make it through the swamp and find a place to heal or what.
Oh, there is a town. There's actually a town right there, and it's Cole.
Ooh, this could be very
heal. You heal before you check the spike. If there's a monster.
Aaron going to pick up the 1 gold full plate, so a pretty nice upgrade there for sure. Making the right choice, healing before checking the potential treasure card.
Zatrex is on a killing spree. Now he's killing Star Wyverns, as is Quinn.
A big goose egg there in Cole. Things are looking pretty good for Zatrex, though. If he's able to just continue with this XP lead and get to a point where he can rappel around the world, might be in a very good position.
Yeah, his strength level right now, with the amount of MP he's got and the weapon he's got, if he were to manage to find a way to buy the broadsword and finding Swamp, which we know is not very far from Breckenary, he could start grinding on the Green Dragon and take an immense lead in experience. And as you say, you hit level 15, you press the repel button, and your exploration goes so much faster. And from what we can see, I think it's very clear our players are going to have to travel a lot of the map to find what they need.
Yeah, and this map is not one of those, big contiguous areas where you can kind of walk wherever you want. This is twisty, turny, small little paths and isthmus and peninsulas. This is something.
Sometimes there's seeds where the map is the end boss. And this looks like one of these.
Zatrex back to Cantlin. Looks like that nice zone that he's been in. He's been near the Cantlin area. Maybe going to pick up some herbs here. Imagine we were in a pretty nice fight here, especially when you can sleep it down. 83 is it's a pretty nice chunk to get.
I'm starting to think I should have actually mapped this map, because I really can't follow where Aaron is. I have no idea where he is. Quinn is close to Breckenary. I know where Zatrex is, but... Yeah, this is a very twisty and swampy map.
Zatrex picking up some wings, knowing that return isn't coming until 13, may want to use those before he gets the level. And quietly, Quinn, just chugging away in this Wolf Lord zone, is also doing pretty well in the XP. Aaron is catching up a little bit, but is still about 600-700 behind Zatrex and a couple hundred behind Quinn. Aaron has seen hawks. I wonder if he's going to head back that way after he explores the western area of this. I think he's in the south, but he knows where it is, and he did get healing in coal, so I wonder if he'll head back that way before too long.
Yeah, with full plate and... no, he's got a chance to win. Especially if he has a weak ability.
Aaron with enough
and Zatrex is
HP.
Oh, a dodge on the green dragon, and Zatrex is going to be sent home by the green.
Was that the swamp spike he was on?
That was the swamp spike, yes. It's a little
Looks
bit
like
disappointing. With Copper Sword, it's a little bit scary. With Broadsword, it would be better. But yeah, that dodge is really unfortunate.
Looks like Aaron has confirmed that this is a one-continent map, is back in the Garenham area, so we'll have to see what he chooses to do now, that he knows where he is.
Also, chat discussion, Zatrex did not pick the chest to the right of the entrance of Swamp North, and so he does not have the flute. Let's hope he remembers, before the ends of the seed, that there is a chest in that
cave
location.
here or maybe he's seen this one. Maybe this is...
yeah, that's Swamp. That's actually Swamp South.
But he must have gone south from the swamp exit and maybe wants to go check another direction that he didn't get to check before dying unceremoniously to that Dragon Lord Breath Wyvern.
Yep, I believe he's going to go east. There's a one-tile path again.
It would be fun to see an overlay of this map, because this sure is this is a fun one.
Yeah, but Aaron has been finding good fights on the way, and is kind of catching up in experience.
Yeah, it's really working out well for him. He does have that exploration lead, and now that he's getting some pretty efficient fights on the way, looking pretty good as he picks up level 12 as well.
And Quinn is going to pick up magic armor.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty nice. The 1 in 4, it's a little bit, you don't notice it as much as Erdrick's armor, but it really adds up.
I think it's the only problem with magic armor. It's a very powerful piece of gear. It's just that Erdrick's armor exists.
Yeah, Erdrick's armor is just so good that it kind of overshadows the still very good magic armor.
No, Quinn is going to be fighting the Goldman.
Yeah, has seen those prices and maybe has his sights set on something a little bit fancier than the Copper Sword. Look at us, we got keys.
Ooh, there's Rim to the east of Swamp, and Quinn does not manage to get away from a Wyvern. Failed to run, got toasted, failed to sleep, got retoasted, and is back home.
So this is potentially huge for Aaron. Has a lot of knowledge on where things are. Probably has a pretty good idea of where he hasn't been, so it might not be terribly difficult to find Cantlin. And going to be able to do a lot of checks here.
Yep, and Zatrex did the same thing Aaron did and went south, coming out of Swamp. And is probably going to pick up his homework in Tablet. The 2 pieces, anyway.
Yep,
He's trying to exit Karen, and he can't. Because probably the guy is in the way. Maybe the lady made it there.
Aaron picking up a torch in the Rimmildar chest.
And nothing in the... What even is that building? I haven't talked to anyone in there.
We like to call it the Rimmildar Community Center, as this invisible NPC is giving Aaron the business here.
Well, let's be honest, that guy's a problem even when he's visible, so...
Looks like Aaron's going to pick up the magic armor as well. It's a no-brainer upgrade from the full plate. And gets 0 gold for the sale of the full plate. You love to see it. So here's a decision point for Aaron. Knows that Garenhem is close by and also could go south and east again to check Hawksness. Wonder if he'll make that play or if he'll think about going back home and checking the treasury and underneath and then Breckenary. Interesting choice.
Seems like I think he wants to finish exploring this little area to make sure he doesn't miss any location, and now he's going to go straight to Garenham. I don't know if he's going to pass by Swamp. Do not forget about the chest that's with the princess.
Yeah, definitely. That one, you know, I've heard that one can cause problems if there's something important in there. And once Aaron finds Cantlin, we'll know that the Flame Sword and Silver Shield are behind that locked shop, and with the random weapon prices and Summer Sale tri-stated, could be very affordable.
Or not. We never know.
Looks like Aaron's going to go back through Swamp before heading into Garenhem and checking out the back of there and the cave underneath.
And does not return to Tantagel to check what is in the treasury and what is in the basement of Tantagel.
And Quinn and Zatrex are all virtually tied on experience right now, with Aaron only a couple hundred behind. So again, there's been a little bit of deviation, but for the most part, these runners have been very close on XP the whole way. Aaron's still the only one to have found Rimmeldar and have access to keys, so that is a big difference here. But I believe Zatrex was able to pick up those 2 key items and finds coal.
And if he continues east, he's going to be able to find, what was it, Hawksness? Right.
Yep, Hawksness. And I don't think that Aaron fought the Axe Knight, but looking pretty likely that there could be an item there. So that and the cords are looking pretty high value right now.
Yep, there's also Mountain and Grave that have a big chance of being loaded. We haven't seen either of them. At this point, there's a good chance that they are behind Tantagel and Garenham. Although we haven't found the Jerk, we haven't found Stone's Cave, we haven't found any cave, it seems, except for Talon.
Yeah, we've seen the 2 swamps and Tablet, and I don't know that we've seen any of the other ones. So is the Stone's Cave still out there? And I think that the other 2 5-chest caves, Grave and Mountain, and then the trade-ins.
And we have 3 players exploring in all directions, and that is kind of wild that we haven't seen any of these in 50 minutes.
Yeah, one thing that could happen to Aaron here is he's seen a bunch of things that could have items. If he ends up finding the Harp trade-in cave way out here, and the Harp is, you know, maybe in the treasury or something, that could be an unfortunate routing.
There is one cave here. It is the Jerk. Not exactly the first choice you want to find when it's the first cave you see, but you'll take it. You want to know where it is.
I wonder if Aaron is thinking about trying to find either Grave or Mountain, or a place where he could potentially set up a chest glitch and see if there's gold in the treasury, knowing that weapon prices are so expensive.
That's an idea.
And he hasn't seen Cantlin. I wonder if he had seen Cantlin, if he would be more inclined to go and check to see the prices of those, you know, high-tier items.
Yeah, I think you absolutely beeline to that shop. You really want to know. So Zatrex elected not to attempt the Axe Knight, and keeps exploring to the eastern part of the map, found Sharlock.
Yeah, without Healmore, nothing's a guarantee, but a fair amount of HP and attack power. It depends on whether it has a spell or not, I guess. If it doesn't have a spell, then, you know, it would be painful to die here, but could be very helpful if it's something like the armor. That could really change the complexion of the seed.
Or DL2 Breath.
Yeah, if it has DL2
or
breath,
both.
That would be a bad time.
Both would be the best, actually.
They've got about 51 agility, which isn't the highest. As Aaron comes into the Stone's Cave, there's 1 chest in here.
Oh, and by the way, Zatrex found Cantlin coming from the southeast. I didn't see what Aaron found in in Stone's Cave.
I think it was a cursed belt.
We have a single continent.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Aaron has seen most of the world, despite its, twisty, craggy turniness, but still has yet to go make good on the Treasury check or the Garenhem check or the Brecconary check.
So that means there's only one cave left on the map, because the other two would be under Taintigel and Garenhem. So it's going to be either Mountain Grave or Harp Shrine that is on the map. And no trace of the harp yet.
Yeah, having a hard time figuring out where that would be, because I feel like our runners have
No, we found it.
many places.
We just found, Zatrex just found it right there.
It's in the
northeast.
Nearby Cantlin?
Yeah, about northeast of Cantlin. So that's all locations. But now, which one of our players is going to find the locations that they have not found yet?
Yeah, it's just really a ticking time bomb to find Rimeldar and then get those checks done, because I think that the cave underneath Garenhem and the checks in Taintigel and Garenhem in that cave are going to be very relevant. And there's also the two search spots. There's the Chords and Hawksness, and we really only need 3 items left, so where are they going to be?
Well, now I believe Aaron is going to immediately go back, either home or to a town. Wait, has he seen? No, he hasn't seen Cantlin. Cantlin is the last location he has left to find, and after that Aaron is going to have completed the map.
Yeah, I think he may be close to it, so if he's able to run into Cantlin here, that could be great, because he could do the shop check, get the Chords check, get some wings even, and, complete the rest of what he needs to do.
Survives the
Quinn
night.
able to take it down. That treasure guard gets the stones, very likely to find the token shortly thereafter. So all 3 racers will be in a very similar position in terms of the items that they have, and Quinn does have a little bit of an XP lead now, but they're all still very close. And Aaron does have the exploration lead, has the most knowledge of the map.
Everybody has exactly the same gear, exactly the same key items. 54 minutes and everybody's like 300 experience away from each other.
This is
a very even race.
Zatrex going to find out about the cursed belt in the Stones Cave. So Aaron finds Cantlin, completes his map knowledge. We'll see if he's gonna heal first. We'll see if he beelines to that hidden shop for those key the premium items.
Oh, Swamp is that close to Cantlin? Wow, that's kind of interesting that Aaron hadn't found it yet, because he was the first one to find Swamp, and he went to Swamp quite a few times. He just dodged it from the north. Sadly, Quinn went inside of Swamp and did not explore to the little east path out of Swamp, where I believe Zatrex is right now. Am I wrong? No, I think I'm wrong.
Aaron electing to pick up some wings here. Nice to see. Gonna go take a look at the chest here, and then probably gonna talk to the old man. Likely to see a key refill here too, I would imagine.
Yeah, he checked his keys first, which is very wise. You don't want to be short a key here. You want to be able to refill.
I think he has 2 left, so he can do this door and then go open the shop door, buy more keys, and then check for the silver shield and flame sword price. So it's going to work out pretty well.
No Chords.
Go fight. Well, that makes me even more suspicious that Hawksness may have a pretty big ticket. I mean, any of them, the harp, the sword, or the armor are all very important, because you want the harp to be able to trade it in, and obviously, the combat implications and the map implication for the armor and sword.
Also, it guarantees an item in Hawksness, because we've seen 1 curse belt.
Yeah, Aaron probably has that clocked, having seen the belt and also Cole, and knows that this is go fight. So probably has a very good idea of what he needs to do now.
Could still be Death Necklace, however. Oh, both the Flame Sword and the Silver Shield are very affordable, and Aaron's going to have a big gear boost here. I don't know if he's going to go grind the Green Dragon first or if he's going to beeline to Hawksness. Both choices make a lot of sense.
Yeah, 18 extra attack power and 10 extra defense is going to feel really, really good here. And the longer it takes for Zatrex or Quinn to find Rim and get those keys, the more and more ahead I think Aaron is going to get.
And as far as Zatrex goes, I think the last location he needs is Rim. I think he's found everything else.
Yeah, and it was somewhere, not too far away from that swamp exit. It was a little bit north and east. I don't remember exactly, but it is somewhat accessible from the swamp exit.
Right, it's a one-tile path in the swamp to the east, and then it's just a little ways to the right there.
Aaron takes a thought about the Star Wyvern, decides to go ahead and swing on it. And despite all the different directions and everything, the XP is still pretty close, although now Quinn is out to a minor lead on the XP here. Kind of our racers trading back and forth on the XP lead.
I think the main difference here is that Zatrex has been using a lot of fairy waters to repel on the way, which is defensible. You want to be able to explore. And if you find some good gear that you might be able to grind the Green Dragon, but it's led Quinn to find a little bit more experience on the way. And sadly, Zatrex, he's still one location away from having found everything. He's going in the right direction though, so if he goes back to Garanum and he goes east of Swamp, he's going to be able to find it.
Yep, and Aaron has decided to beeline to Hawksness after getting that information about Go Fight, and I'm going to take on the Axe Knight. We'll see what the Axe Knight has cooking, because it's going to be the first Axe Knight of the seed, because they're not on the overworld. Something like Dragon Lord Breath could be quite a barrier to the runners. Aaron's gonna get some enemies in here.
He's like 2 fights away with the werewolf. Makes a lot of sense, since you're not going to be using heal more. The amount of MP he has is perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, and you could get a nice attack power or agility for defense boost or some more HP. It could definitely be very relevant for ensuring that you take down this Axe Knight.
Yeah, we know 13 is not that amazing, but he doesn't. Zatrex is re-entering locations. He's wondering what he's missed. The path is right there. He's going in the right direction.
Yeah, this could be real big for Zatrex here if he takes the correct, and he's going the right way.
Hey, he's going the right way. Let's go.
Looks like he's going to find those keys, and the map is going to hopefully open up its secrets.
Axe Knight back attacks Aaron. He actually decides to fight, does not run away.
Yep, could kill it here. Stop spell. That's sure. That's making me think that maybe you should just stay here for a while.
And it's the sword. Yeah, that's going to help the grind as well. The sword's going to help a lot.
Yep, and goes right back in.
Yep, Zatrex just goes, hey, Orwick. I wish I found you a little bit earlier than 1 hour in. During that time, Quinn is getting the business from Star Wyvern.
This is going to, even though Quinn's got a little bit of an XP lead, I think that Zatrex finding these keys here is going to put Quinn on a little bit of a clock to also find Rim. Otherwise, the rest of the seed could start to slip away a little bit just based on the knowledge that everyone has. And if you can get the Silver Shield and the Flame Sword, get your sword from killing the Axe Knight, and fight in Hawks, that's how you're really going to get those levels and get up to heal more. So I feel like that's going to be the ticket.
Yes. Also, we know that now the sword is not blocked by keys, but the armor is potentially blocked by keys in Shalak maybe, or in Tantagel. Or it could be in Garanum. There was one chest that our players were not able to check in Breckenary in the end. So So there's a lot of checks that are behind keys, so really keys are the way to finish a seed here. We still need the harp as well.
That's right, yeah, we definitely need the harp, and we got to do the trade-ins. At a certain point, I wonder if the defense gets up to 88, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Aaron switch from fighting this Axe Knight to fighting the green. Although the stop spell may make that a little bit different of a choice. Normally, if there wasn't a stop spell, I think that green would be the superior choice at 88 defense, but with the stop spell, maybe you just stay here forever.
Yeah, although we've seen green dragons have just fight, 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 I'm not sure Aaron fought a green dragon. I know Zatrex has.
And we're going to get our first check here in Garenhem, and there are no chests here in the back as of right now, so that's not a good start, but we'll see what the cave is.
Brave. Oh, that's too vanilla for this seed. That's too much vanilla things.
Especially
vanilla
if the harp
zones,
is going to be in here.
Vanilla spells.
Aaron finds a green dragon here in the Hawk's zone. Doesn't quite have enough defense to defense break it, but if enough agility comes, we'll definitely be defense breaking and maybe repelling a bunch of stuff in Charlock. We still don't know the status of long versus short. So Aaron's going to pick up 3-0, 34, 11 on level 14. That's a big HP boost.
Right. Interesting find by Zatrex. 130 gold chest. So there is no... Oh, and this chest has a guard on it as well. So there's no death necklace, and Grave seems to have an actual item in it.
Yeah, is it going to be the harp or is it going to be the armor? It's the harp.
Do you dive Grave here? It's a good question. Well, Zatrex still has not found the sword either, so I think he's thinking about it. Oh, he's got to cast outside. He's not diving the Grave right now.
It is nice to get that harp. He's taken the wings. He's going to be the first to go check the treasury and underneath Tangential as well. As Quinn is fighting this Axe Knight and gets the kill, about to find the sword. We'll see if he decides to stay here and pick up some XP on the spike as well. With the 148 HP that Aaron has now, would maybe be thinking about the Death Necklace, but we know here that the Death Necklace is not on in this seed, so would be best for Aaron if he did not get the 132 Death Necklace.
There's all the money. All the money was in the treasury in Tentacle.
Yep, so could do a chest glitch, but as we know, the really valuable items that you want are maybe under 500 total gold to purchase.
Yep. Yeah, maybe Cantlin will be the next location for Zatrex. Might pass by Breckenary to check the chest and then straight to Cantlin.
Not
Zatrex is not doing mountain?
Maybe has that cursed belt knowledge in mind and wants to go check Hawksness?
It's a weird decision. Also, I don't think he checked the alternate locations in...
Oh yeah, that's true, underneath
the two alternate locations.
On the way down there. Yeah, there's two potential chests down there.
Well, let's see how that works out for him. During that time, Aaron's just killing... We know level 17 is required to win the seed anyway. So it makes a lot of sense to just kill until you die.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him use his stockpile of herbs here just to keep getting some XP before you have to go home.
For our viewers that might not be entirely familiar with the game, level 17 here will happen at 12,000 experience, so still a little bit to go here.
Yeah, definitely. So we know that Garenhem has got one of the grave, which is underneath Garenhem, has the silver harp. So Aaron's probably going to check Mountain Cave and get the big gold infusion from the treasury. That's not going to be helpful, but We'll see how quickly he gets back to Garenhem and whether there's anything of value in Mountain.
Also, I believe Aaron has checked the coordinates, so he knows there are no coordinates right now.
Yeah,
he's going to dive the caves for sure.
And because he's going to stay here until he dies, it's very likely that he's going to check the mountain cave before heading back to Garenhem.
I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit shocked Zatrex left Tentacle, actually.
Yeah, I'll have to see if we can remember to ask him about the decision to skip mountain cave there.
It's Friday, man. I've had a tough week. I hope you remember.
I think that's what did there. Yeah, I think that's a very reasonable answer.
Alright, Aaron's going to get a lot of money and be disappointed.
You know, maybe start a college fund for any potential, children that the hero has.
A black mage, maybe.
Yeah. Does look like Aaron is going to check the alternate locations and the cave here.
Well, if the guard lets him pass, there we go. And nothing. I was going to be synced, actually. Yeah, he's going this time.
Yeah, gonna think better of skipping the potential number of chests in Mountain and see what it has to offer.
Yeah, I think what he was thinking was both Hoxness and Coordinates. If both Hoxness and Coordinates had something, that was everything he needed. Because he saw the death necklace. Does he have the flute? I don't think he picked the flute in Swan.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I only know for sure that Aaron has the flute. Well, we've seen a couple of chests here in Mountain, so we know that it's not a total goose egg. There's a free key locked behind a key, so there you go.
Also, I don't think we've seen the fighter's ring.
Yeah, I don't think we have either.
Although, yeah, I'm looking at the stats, and honestly, I don't think our players will need the fighter's ring when they hit level 17.
The thing that we can really hope for is that the armor is in Sharlock, because we have the random chests on, and random chests in Sharlock can be quite a spectacle.
Oh yeah, you have to explore everywhere because there are chests. So there's a few locations you never go to in Sharlock. Sharlock is more expansive than it looks like, actually, when you do the regular path. And the first basement is very, very large and has quite a few chest locations. And, ooh, Mountain does not have the armor. It's got clothes for Aaron, but no armor.
I'm going to pick up those clothes that are actually a torch and get rid of those torches and get the heck out of there. We'll probably see Aaron heading straight to Garenhem at this point, is what I would imagine.
Yep, so what's left? Bottom of Grave, Breckenary is what is left. As
That's
far as
right,
the list
yeah.
goes.
We'll see if Aaron decides to go check, remembers that there's a chest in Breckenary. It looks like he is heading that way. Quinn, pretty close to Aaron on XP after his experience with those Axe Knights, is going to walk out of Hawksness and maybe go back to Cole. I'm not sure where he's going to head, but probably going to try to heal up and maybe even continue fighting the Axe Knight.
No, it looks like exploration, actually. I'm not sure he's found this area yet.
Oh, maybe he came from the Swamp Cave and is exploring this way for the first... Yeah, that would make sense.
And Breckenary does not have the armor, so Bottom of Grave.
We can still hope for Sharlock, but if the no armor and Sharlock flag rolled on, then it's going to be in the grave.
And as I've said earlier, it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of swamp before getting to Sharlock. Although the Silver Shield is kind of cheap in this situation, and we know we have vanilla zones, so the first couple zones of Sharlock are not going to be too dangerous for our players, and they have a lot of health.
Yep, but then we get down to those armored knights and red dragons on that bottom zone, and we don't know what kind of abilities they have, so...
Oh wait, there is a zone where there's a chest we forgot. We were talking about not forgetting that chest, the princess.
That's right, and Aaron is not one to forget checking the Gwaelin chest, so he's going to go and verify whether there's a chest here or not. And there is not.
Sorry, Gwaelin. Better your luck next seed. Next week she's going to be important, however, because we will have guaranteed random XP requirements, and sometimes it's very, very valuable to save the princess just to know when the next level is.
Yeah, when you're close to going and you're on suspicious and sketchy stats where you could win, knowing whether it's 300 or 3000 XP to the next level is very important.
Yeah, and since they put it on fast experience, it could be 11,000 for the next level.
We know here that Aaron is about to find the silver harp, and then almost guaranteed, I would be very astonished if Aaron didn't dive grave here, because it's the last overworld check that he has.
Yep, he's checked every other location. He knows there's no chest in Cole. He did check the chest on the bottom left of Cantlin. He's checked Brackenary, so...
So after he verifies whether or not the armor is at the bottom of the grave, I have to imagine that in some order Aaron is going to either grind and then trade in, or trade in and then grind and then head on into Sharlock. And if the armor is not in the bottom of grave, not only are all the swamp tiles going to eat up your resources, but those barrier tiles in Sharlock as well.
Yeah, because you have to go through a lot of barrier tiles in Sharlock to actually get to the right path and the left path to go check a few chest locations in Basement 1.
And this could be a situation where short Sharlock is actually maybe, depending on if the armor rolls into Sharlock, and if it is short Sharlock and the armor is in one of the upper zones, you got to walk all the way back up to go check it. So this could be very interesting.
Yep. No chest in the middle, so 2 locations remaining for the armor in grave right now. For the armor to not be in Sharlock.
The math says that, we'll see here. Not an encounter, but nope, it's not. It's a key. So the math is definitely saying that the odds are in favor of armor in Sharlock, which would be, I think, to the rejoice of many of us here.
Alright, suspense. Just a few more steps to go. And while we're talking about the suspense with the armor, Quinn finally finds Rimmildar and will pick up his keys 1 hour 15 in. There is a chest.
Zatrex here, gonna kill this Axe Knight, and if this is the armor is in Sharlock, we get to rejoice as chat. I'm not sure if the runners will rejoice, but this is what we were hoping for.
And as a bonus, like, this map is pretty windy, and now Aaron has to go all the way to the top right of the map to actually grab the Staff of Rain. Thankfully, the Jerk is not very far away from Harp Shrine, because that could have been pretty funny as well, but...
Yep, and so it looks like all that is left here for Aaron is getting some trade-ins and grinding, and then the great Sharlock search will commence. And knowing that Radiant is pretty helpful, and you've got all those barrier tiles, I wonder if you're if you even think about trying to do it in one dive. If it's short and it's in the treasury, you could go for the single dive, but you might want to be just willing to outside and heal and come back.
A better question as well, do you try before heal more?
Ooh,
you might at least peek into. If it's short and you can check the bottom really quickly, I think it's worth it to actually try before you get heal more, because if you have the armor to go back to the Axe Knight and grind it with the stop spell he has, it's going to speed up your final grind tremendously.
Yeah, that's true. Some interesting choices here for sure.
And Sherlock is not that far away from this location. You go back up there, you go south of Harp Shrine, and you continue south. And it's pretty much, it's close to there, if I remember well.
Yeah, and Beta's got a great point. If it's short Charlock, we know that the Golem is on the spike there, and with the attack power and defense right now, the HP as well, that Golem fight could be the best thing to get to heal more.
Yeah, as well. And he has the flute.
And with the speed hacks on, the flute is much less cumbersome to play. It doesn't take 8 seconds to get that song out. It only takes a couple of seconds, so it's a lot more valuable of an efficiency play.
I believe, yeah, I think Aaron, well, might go heal in Cantlin before.
So Quinn picking up the princess here. Just maybe doesn't have the Cantlin knowledge yet, or...
Yep, I believe he has not gone back to Cantlin, so he doesn't know that there are no coordinates, so... Since you're on the way and you actually check the Gwaelin spot, you just go, okay, alright. Might as well grab the princess in case.
Yeah, with the way that the map is, if there were coordinates and they were somewhere unpleasant, the princess would definitely be the thing to have. You wouldn't want to try to count it. Aaron looks like he's getting ready to stock up on fairy water here.
He's getting his shopping done. Makes a lot of sense.
I wonder what Zatrex's plan is here, if he's just looking for some XP or if he's still on the hunt for something.
I'm not sure Zatrex did Bottom of Grave, actually.
Yeah, likely has to, well, you know, there's no guarantee that you have to. You might play the numbers, but I think it makes a lot of sense, especially with random chest locations, to check the bottom, considering there can be more chests down there than usual.
Aaron fills the keys. I think Aaron is going to check Sherlock immediately. There's a lot of doors, actually, in the... in Sherlock when you have to explore the whole of it for the armor.
Yeah, and I wonder if that potential for short Sherlock and the Golem spike is on his mind as well. You know, getting 350 would be a pretty excellent thing to do.
Actually remembers you have to go south of that little lake thingy.
Quinn, on the way to the bottom of the grave, gonna find out that there is nothing down there, and then likely to do some trading in and grinding as well, just a little bit behind Aaron here.
In the situation where our players are, 13 points, if you finish second in week 5, finish second, you get 3 points, and you're at 16 and you're pretty comfortable. If you're at 12 points and you finish at 15 points, there's a good chance that you're going to miss the playoffs, so you need to actually win in week 5. That's a long Sherlock, oh no.
Aaron immediately says, not interested in going for the armor just yet. Looks like he's going to head straight to that Axe Knight and just go for it from there.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. Grab heal more and then do a quick dive. But yeah, so what I was saying is, finishing second here makes a big difference. First place is probably guaranteed to be in the playoffs, and Aaron seems to have like a pretty solid lead at this point. But between Zatrex and Quinn, Zatrex has a little bit of an exploration lead. Quinn has a little bit of an XP lead, about 3,000. So it's going to be interesting to see between Quinn and Zatrex what is going to happen. However,
Yeah,
like Charlotte, like if the stats don't come at 17, we don't know what could happen in Charlotte though.
Yeah, the agility being 64. 64 is not the worst, but it's pretty suspicious for dealing with unknown armored knights and red dragons on the bottom. If they've got the sleep DL2 or any kind of unpleasantness, you're really hoping to gain some agility here.
There is one pleasantness that is possible, however. There's a 50-50 chance easy Sherlock rolled, so... But you can't really know this. you cannot know if you rolled easy Sherlock or if you're just getting lucky.
Being able to take down Axe Knights in 2 swings is pretty fantastic, though. So I don't anticipate Aaron having too much trouble. Should easily be able to get this level 17 with the set of resources that he's on.
Yeah, especially if he crits them. 123 is kind of pretty intense.
It looks like Zatrex is going to check that Gwaelin chest as well here, fighting that green dragon in the swamp cave. As Quinn enters Mountain Cave and is going to get these checks in. Be disappointed, but you got to do it. Well, Zatrex might be grinding on the green dragon here instead of the Axe Knight.
It's not a bad choice.
Yep, definitely needs to get caught up on the XP here. So we'll have to see. Anything can happen in Sherlock, and especially considering that we don't know where the armor is, and you can, kind of mess around and win without Erdrick's sword, somewhat regularly just by grinding, but it's a lot harder to grind your way out of needing the armor. That Dragonlord breath is quite extensively damaging.
Yeah, and we're not in the kind of seed where there is random XP rewards for the monsters, and you could get a monster that is easy to kill and gives you 300. Here it's more of a regular grind, so grinding 2-3 extra levels that you would need to win with the flame sword, it's a little bit painful. But yeah, with the armor it would be 7 or 8 more levels, very often getting pretty close to level 30 before you can actually win. So
and level 16 only coming with 2 more agility, so what, 66? I think you'd be hoping for more than that, but it would be hard-pressed with the way that the other stats are to not try to go at level 17 here.
Oh yeah, you gotta dive. In fact, is he leaving at 75 MP?
He might be thinking about going and looking for the armor and fighting stuff in Sherlock on the way to get the level, and then just using outside and healing. That would potentially be a very efficient way to go about it.
Makes sense. Cantlin is not that far away, neither is Cole.
Yeah, because you know that, you have to find the armor in Sherlock, and it could potentially be quite an excursion to get it. So you're going to be fighting Sherlock level enemies, and with the amount of attack power and HP, I think that this makes a lot of sense.
By the way, Judge's Table is not the worst chest in Sherlock now. The worst chest, I believe, would be the one at the end of the fake path that would go on forever in the vanilla game.
Yeah, you kind of got to go all the way. If you're coming from the bottom of Sherlock, that one's not as bad, but coming from up here, yeah, that one is not necessarily the way that you want to go.
And Aaron's gonna start with the right. Makes a lot of sense.
You're going to take a painful 15 damage from each one of these barrier tiles, but has some MP to deal with it. And, it doesn't help that much against 15 damage, but the magic armor, again, 1 HP for every 4 steps will make a difference here.
In this location, there's a couple potential chests. We see the first one top right. There's one that's potential also in the bottom left.
With the treasure guards tri-stated, there's no guarantee you're going to get an encounter. So you're hoping to see an encounter when you come across a chest, but not having an encounter is not a guarantee that the item is not what you're looking for.
And no chest here, so outside, and we try to the left. Now Quinn is discovering that saving the princess was maybe not required.
Yep, gets the bad news about go fight. And it looks like Aaron is in a very strong position here, but the race for second place, I think, is very live right now. It's really hard to say who's got the edge between Quinn and Zatrex.
I'm looking at this right now, and both of... Oh my god, the merchant is in the door! He can't go away. Alright, there we go. Manages to get out. Both of our players have the exact same information right now. Well, no, wait a second. Quinn has actually dove grave, didn't he? He actually did the entire grave. He has all the information. Quinn knows everything. He knows the armors in Charlotte at this point.
And he does have still a slight XP lead, but Zatrex is catching up quick fighting those green dragons.
So the question is, what will Quinn do? Is he going to go... Oh, first of all, he has to do his homework.
Yep, and it's going to take maybe about 2 minutes to get that done.
Alright, 2 more chest locations here. Left is not on, and a little bit of suspense with a wizard preventing us from seeing if there's a chest to the right.
And hoping for more agility here, because you could be able to defense break a lot of these Charlock enemies, but just the agility is not quite cooperating, and Aaron's going to go refill before making the long dive down.
Yep.
Might even consider. Well, I guess no. You have to heal, so I don't think that this would be a dive and grind to win. It could be, but it depends on where the armor is. Or maybe going to Hawksness just to finish out the level and then go in for a dive and grind. Or like a dive and win.
It's a good question. Do you want to do a single dive here? Because single diving with the magic armor, it's always a little bit worrying because although you do heal on the way, the damage tends to stick, and the agility is not exactly all there.
Yeah, you'd really have to hope for some nice agility. Being able to repel a number of the enemies would help quite a bit.
And we don't even repel the wizards right now with a silver shield.
Yeah, repelling 0 enemies in Charlock right now.
And Quinn is done with the homework. So the question is Quinn going to dive and try to find the armor immediately, or is he going to grind to level 17? I think it's pretty obvious Zatrex is grinding.
That is a great question. I'm in the favor of at least getting a little bit, kind of like Aaron did. I think it makes the most sense to get down there and maybe expend your resources. I think this Axe Knight and then 2 more should be the level for Aaron. Or maybe 1 more, just needs one more.
Is 17 going to come with agility? The rest of the stats are perfectly fine, but what is the agility going to be like? We get 1, 4, 8, 7, and heal more. That's a lot of MP though. The agility is not there, but I think you want to try a single dive and win. I think you want to. With that amount of MP, this is kind of ridiculous, 126 now.
Yeah, I think you definitely go for it, and then, if the game forces your hand into to bailing, then, you can use your heal mores at that point, but I think you gotta try.
Yep. So you're ready to win in 15 attacks, and you have a lot of HPs. You're pretty much guaranteed to get quite a lot of doubles. So if you finish your Sharlock around, I would say, 80 MP, you really rate to win.
And this Cole NPC is giving Aaron the business here.
I mean, you thought Cole NPCs were scary when you could see them. Imagine when you cannot.
Zatrex just steadily chugging away at these green dragons here. Is about to get level 16 here, and shouldn't be too far away from 17. The green dragon grind is going pretty well.
Yeah, he's been there for almost, 4,000 experience, and hasn't moved away? just, you know, pooping them forever.
And Quinn is heading straight into Sharlock, maybe just going to check to see if it's short or not. We'll have to see if he sticks around after he finds out that it's long.
Heals up, and he goes.
Yep, maybe going to do a little bit of cursory exploration, but has decided to go take a quick look for the armor before committing to getting some more XP. And it makes sense, there are decent enemies to fight in here.
He does not check to the right and the left. We know it's not going to hurt him.
Yeah,
well, maybe the left, but he doesn't check to the right, which has a few chest locations possible.
See if he's going left first here. Nope, just going to go straight down. Maybe wants to go right to the treasury. And we know that this is the correct direction, so we'll save some time, you know, exploring, not exploring the dead end for as far as chests go.
There's a few areas that where the armor can be also on floor 4. There's a chest that can pop at the bottom of it, and floor 6 on the way to the Dragon Lord. There is one chest that you can check pretty quickly. There's 2 on the wrong way in floor 6 as well.
So, funnily here, we may see Quinn find the armor before Aaron, despite Aaron being kind of the first to all of the important locations and items. But Quinn not ready to win, Aaron trying to dive to win, but Quinn may be first to armor.
Although Quinn is going to be fighting on the way down, he wants the experience, whereas Aaron is already ready to kill a Dragon Lord.
Yeah, that's true. Aaron's very likely to overtake Quinn while Quinn is swinging on these enemies.
Oh, he's fighting at 41 HP. That's a little bit scary. It is dodging. Oh, that's what I was worried. Oh no, that dodge. Oh, and Quinn is going to be sent back to Lorik.
Oof, that is that's punishing. It looks like we've got Zatrex heading into continue to fight these green dragons to get to level 17. I don't think he's gone to the bottom of the grave. I wonder if he's going to forgo that and head into Sharlock, or if he's going to check the bottom of grave before trying to get into the Sharlock.
To be honest, there's so many spots you have to check. By Quinn. Oh my god, that's a pretty good one. I mean, what I was saying, oh yeah, there's so many things to check in Sharlock that I think you really want to check. Make sure it's not engraved, because checking the entirety of Sharlock while it's engraved would be a huge waste of time. Whereas he's going to be able to repel everything that is engraved, so the check is going to be pretty quick, since he's already done the top floor.
I have heard that looking at every chest in Sharlock, you know, while the item you're looking for is on the overworld, does tend to lead to bad time.
Yes. Did it happen to you, or...?
Yeah, I died like a step away from the Gwaelin chest in week 1, and then I just like never thought. I in my mind I thought I already looked at it and there was no chest, but there was a chest there with the sword.
Oof! Ouch! Oh, Aaron remembers that there are 2 chest locations in this direction.
Yep. So finds the chest here. It is not the armor, but we will go to the vanilla endless staircase and see if there's a chest here.
No, those are an armor knight.
So far, we haven't seen any spells or abilities, so they're still not, you know, fun enemies to fight, but they're much less fun when they have sleep or Dragonlord breath.
So Aaron uses his last herb. I think it makes a lot of sense. You want to make it down. You know you can use a lot of heal mores before you get to the Dragonlord.
Yeah, still has 14 heal mores available, and that's quite a hefty number.
Yeah, but this is not a Chaos Dragonlord that you don't know how many HP he's got. He could be at 230 HP. No, it's a regular guy. He's not going to have sleep. Dragonlord 1 is not going to have 255 attack and punch you for 90.
Yeah, and with 160 HP, you could even open with an opening quadruple. It's not likely, but things are looking pretty good with that level of HP and this many heal mores.
Although just have to be careful because the Dragon Lord is going to be able to hit him for 50. Yeah, 81 DP, yeah.
It feels real good when you've got like 150, 160 HP, where if you are in that situation, normally you don't want to heal on 50, it's kind of inefficient, but if you're going to go up to 160, then, it feels just fine healing on 49 or 50.
And I just hope the armor is in the chest on the beach. It's the best chest in the game.
That's what we're all hoping for here. And Zatrex heading back to the grave, going to be disappointed, but makes all kinds of sense. Don't want to, like you said, explore all of Charlock and then have the item potentially be on the overworld.
Wings, gold, and herb.
Still no. You're happy to get that herb back though.
How many keys does Aaron have? Did he refill the keys before going? I think he did, though.
He has exactly enough to open that door, this door, and the other door. So he had 3. I'm pretty sure he has exactly enough to check all these locations.
But he won't need to. This is the chest. The gold man's gonna get the business. There was a guard on it. Gets the money. Doesn't need it. And there's the armor.
And picks up another key.
I think he was hoping for an herb, maybe.
I would have to imagine, yeah, looking for the herb there.
But he's in great shape right now. He can spare a few heal mores on the armor knights, and although it's hard to do a judgment here, I believe Easy Charlock has rolled, because at this agility, he's been running away from armor knights and red dragons with, it looks about 50-50.
Yep, he might be looking for the fighter's ring here, so if there's a beach chest, it probably is the fighter's ring, right? So
it's gotta be. I think we've checked every location. It has to be.
And going from 130 to 132 actually does make a pretty nice difference, so could be just playing the make absolutely sure game here, but I don't know if he's going to go check the beach. Looks like no.
Nope. I mean, the stats right now are fine. It's just one attack, and it's probably going to take more time to go grab that ring than it would take to deal one more attack, especially if you crit the golem on the way out.
Yeah, this is looking like a very comfortable fight here. I think that some kind of natural disaster or, error of input would have to happen here for Aaron to fail this.
Yep, he's going to have a miss menu. Need to have a miss menu. No, please. I don't want to curse him. Wow. He's going to need to have a miss menu, in my opinion, to lose this fight. He enters at 114 HP.
Well, the ambush, it's over now.
Oh, it is, of course.
Starting off with an 11. 7 up to 18. We are up to 29. 49 decides to heal up. Again, it makes perfect sense when you've got this much attack power. I believe that we are at 40 now.
Yeah, with HP, I mean, it makes no difference. If you heal more, even at 59 HP, you will still have a chance to have a full heal more and not lose any health from the heal more, so...
I think that's 49. I might have missed an attack there, though. We're going to pretend like I didn't. We're going to call that 56.
He's not ruling very good, and only one double so far.
So I missed a 9. We're at 63 up to 73. We're at 86 with 63 MP remaining. This is looking pretty cozy.
And a lot of fairy waters, actually. 11.
I'm like 97 here.
And a double.
I'm going to be at 106. I'm going to be at 115. We'll have to see if he gets to a point where he can use that torch. At 131.
during that time, both Quinn and Zatrex have hit level 17. Zatrex is going to grab his rainbow drop, but I think they're both going to dive pretty much at the same time.
And I think that was 156 to get it done there for Aaron. Get your GGs out in chat. Will take home the victory, and I believe guarantee himself a spot in that Group 1 position round race next week.
Yep, he's going to be at 18 points, which is just 2 points short of a perfect tournament so far. Doing very well. Last year's champion, Aaron, is going to win the race tonight. Well played. This was a complicated seed to play. Actually, and I feel like Aaron, between our 3 players, had the perfect blend of exploration and grinding, and just a little bit of exploration luck to find the little path to Rimmeldar before everybody else.
Yeah, it really worked out well. The map was not very forgiving. It was vanilla zones with vanilla, stats and enemy rewards. And the armor was in Sharlock with random chest locations. There was a lot that was making this last an hour and 42 minutes for a victory. So very well done from Aaron.
I think Quinn checked left and right. He's going to dive straight to the bottom. We know it's the correct thing to do, but that's a little bit of a gamble.
And he is now notably on level 17, and from what we've seen, even if using some resources here, should be able to do this in one dive unless some kind of catastrophe befalls him.
Should be pretty comfortable. Well, I mean, even if Easy Sharlock is on 70, agility can be a little bit scary, although we haven't seen any ability on the Armor Knight and the Red Dragon. It's not like last week where the Red Dragons were guaranteed to have sleep.
Yeah, it seems like they may have rolled just physical attacks, which is pretty friendly. It's not as friendly as Hurt or Stop Spell, but definitely not as bad as Sleep or Dragon Lord Breath.
Quinn here sees that there is no chest in Judge's table.
Zatrex is loading up on Fairy Water and is likely to also enter into Sharlock and look for that armor in the win. We'll have to see if he decides to go to any of the side locations or maybe goes straight to the bottom first. Quinn does have quite a lead on Zatrex now as Aaron comes in. GG, Aaron. How are you feeling?
Lucky, blessed, something along those lines.
Lucky.
Yeah. What a map, what a seed. You all were very close on XP for quite a while, and then you were the first one to find Rim. What were you thinking about at various stages in this race?
I made a number of wrong turns and almost full cleared the map. We missed a couple of spots, but I don't know. When I had keys and Rim, and I just went straight through Swamp. I was like about 2 minutes later, I'm like, what in the heck am I doing? Garanham is right there, and I was just beating myself up, and it wouldn't have changed anything since armor was in Sharlock, but I would have probably, because when I went back through, I saw Staff of Rain Cave, and I could have turned that in, and then I saw the Drop Cave, and the logic would have been just amazing, and I kind of thwarted that by being a little bit absent-minded.
Yeah, there's also the situation where you dodged Cantlin from the north for a very long time, going straight into Swamp. And you found Cantlin from the other side, if I remember well.
Yeah, that didn't hurt me too bad, though, because by the time I found it, I had keys. Before that, all I would have seen... Well, I would have been able to get a full plate for the 1 gold, but all I would have seen is that everything else would have... all the weapons were terribly priced, so...
Except
Did those high weapon prices influence the way that you approached the seed, or what you would have done? If there had been, say, a hand axe or a broadsword readily available, do you think that you would have been a little bit less exploration heavy, or do you think it would have been the same either way?
Well, the things in the beginning zone were running from me, and every other zone, it actually took me a very long time to realize vanilla zones were on. the starting area was so odd. Although I did have a full reverse count for all of the reverse count fans. I had it set up 14 west, 48 north, but just, didn't happen.
And we saw you leave that Axe Knight at level 16 and head into Sharlock to do some initial exploration there. Did you think about doing a dive and grind at that point, trying to get the level if possible, and then go on to win, or was that always going to be find the armor and use outside?
Yeah, that was kind of the idea. It actually came to me while I was grinding the Axe Knight, and I was like, I bought these fairy waters, and the decision for the end game, what to grind, I went with the Axe Knight because I was pretty sure Cole wasn't too far away, and I thought Cole was the closest place to Sharlock anyway, but, the stop spell helped. But the real thing was that we never had any agility. Like, at the end of the game, 70, I still wasn't... Like, if we had a lot of agility, 100% would have went on that green dragon. But, yeah, the end decision was like, why don't I just, fight stuff in Sharlock instead of here, and it'll probably turn out all the same. And it did work. I had to use a couple of herbs, which was a little inconvenient, but, it worked. And I see Quinn is not having fun. This was a... yeah, he's leaving.
No, I mean, you ended up against a Dragon Lord with 119 MP. Quinn here was down to 80, which was a lot scarier against a Dragon Lord. You didn't roll very high against a Dragon Lord, but you had so much resources it was kind of safe.
Yeah, wasn't really worried about that. I think I could have lost 2 more heal mores and easily still cruise past there. I also had it in mind. If you saw me open that last door, I was like, maybe I should get the fighter's ring, because I know it had to be there too. But I saw it was on the beach, and I was like, that is not worth it. Maybe if I was like 3 heal mores down, I might get that. But
yeah, Ziggy was saying that it would probably take more time to get the beach chest than the extra damage would save you on the fight.
Yeah, it would be one swing, usually, and you had a lot of fairy waters, so...
But yeah, to answer what you said about grinding on the way down, I did not like that because I don't do that when you don't have armor. I think that's the best way to put it. If I had armor and I could heal in between the fights and only take fights when I'm like at max hit points, that's one thing, but I would have just been, every other fight I would have been healing, and it would have been, I think, pretty unproductive, especially with a good grind. I mean, Axe Knights without hurt more are not wonderful, but if you have the sort of situation that we had here with it having probably 50% stop spell, that makes it a whole lot nicer.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 choices were green or Axe Knights, and both were pretty good. Zatrex ended up with the greens, and you ended up with the Axe Knight.
Yeah, and to actually answer the question you asked like 3 questions ago, if I had a better weapon, I would have tried to take the Axe Knight on earlier. After I got to Cole, I started to walk back, and I'm like, this doesn't feel great, so I didn't, and ultimately didn't really matter. I mean, it'd been nice to get that, but I don't know, if I stop spell the guy and he just cast stop spell a lot, I still probably would have taken him out. It just didn't feel great.
So, just a little thing. When you dived, I was certain that Easy Sharlock was on. But now I've just seen Quinn try to run away from a wizard 6 times. And I'm not so sure Easy Sharlock was on, so I feel like you had kind of a good dive there.
Yeah, like I said when I came in, I felt blessed because that could have went a lot of different ways. Again, 70 agility, not great. This would have been a great seed for strength agility for those people. Although, I don't know, it's hard to hate on 162 hit points. That's pretty nice. So, but yeah, that was I don't know. It was definitely a thought, going in that I could get wiped out, and just had to hope for the best. I think what I really got was the good RNG of seeing a ridiculous amount of stonemen and wizards, and not red dragons and armor knights. I'm pretty sure that was in my favor compared to what it should have been.
Yeah, definitely. And for the first, maybe half of this seed, everyone was very close. You definitely had the most exploration early on, but Zatrex actually got out to a bit of an XP lead, grinding in a mid-game zone, just never stopped grinding that zone. And really, I think the big turning point was finding Rim and being able to get some extra attack power and defense and just sticking on that Axe Knight.
Yeah, the armor was great, and it helped out a lot. Just you tend to overlook magic armor pretty easily, the healing stuff. But when you're walking around the overworld through all of the swamp, normally I count like 11 steps and then think heal. Now it's like 15. That's not exactly how the math works, but it just made it a little bit nicer because you lose so much time casting heal over and over and over.
Well, you have both of your opponents actually got the Cantland pretty early and ended up with the magic armor pretty fast. They just didn't have keys for the flame sword and the silver shield.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of the full plate, but the magic armor was there. That would have been better too. So.
Oh yeah, $1 and you sold it for $0. That was kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, so I think this ultimately kind of pushed you in one direction. I feel like maybe I pushed out slightly early at the beginning, but we had a decent amount of money, and any sort of weapon was going to make that grind better, so I don't really hate that. And then after that, the game just let me go. And again, I'm talking about, like, lucky. How many hit points did I have when I got the coal? Like, 2?
Oh yeah, when you had no resources, you see Hawk's Nest, you leave, and then you're kind of stuck in this pocket of no swamp in the forest, and you decide to go through, and you find coal. And then I was like, please go heal before you check the tile, because you were the first one to coal, but it turns out it was nothing.
Yeah, and then finding Cantland was a similar thing. I didn't have a whole lot of resources left there either after I did like the whole northwest thing. I was gonna go back through swamp, but I was like, I think I have enough that I can, I just want to make sure that it's not here. If I had to walk back, that was one thing, but I still had in mind I might be able to walk back, and I got kind of lucky. Well, I mean, I didn't see it right away, so maybe not lucky, but lucky that I managed it.
Back to the game briefly. Quinn Patrick actually got to the Dragon Lord this time with 123 MP, and he's going to start his fight against Dragon Lord 2. Pretty comfortable at this point. Zatrex sadly has very low MP getting to the armor, only 50, so I think he's going to have to go outside and retry.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like pretty forced here, and we see the outside cast as Quinn virtual lock here again would need an active nature or some kind of dexterity fail here.
Quinn was the earliest to start exploration in the seed. He really pushed exploration a lot because it didn't find the zone that both you and Zatrex found in the bottom right of the island at the start. So, he actually found quite a few things, but sadly for Quinn, he was the last to find Rimildar by about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, even when I got through there, I went to Garenham, and I wanted to kind of peek back up, and I didn't, and then the Wyvern DL2'd me, which was a lot of fun. I think I was like really the only late game death that I took that wasn't 100% on purpose.
Yeah, I got excited when I saw that Wyvern just because things had been so hard to get good XP. And I was thinking, oh, that's got to be a great zone. And then the Toasty came in and decidedly made it less good.
I've lost the count for Quinn, but oh, there we go. No need to count. The Dragon Lord is dead. GG's in the chat for Quinn Patrick, who is going to be taking second place in this pretty complicated seed. He's going to finish it under 2 hours, and he's going to grab 3 points, which is a lot more comfortable, like we were talking about, than 12 points before week 5. Talks to the King. He's gonna have to wait for Gwaelin. He's the only one to have saved Gwaelin since he hadn't checked the coordinates before.
Yeah, you guys are way ahead of me. The stream is, I don't know if it's me or whatever, but it's lagging like crazy. We still got 51 MP on my side.
Oh, okay.
Oh, never mind. I guess he didn't need that much more MP.
Yeah, he won like 40-something MP left.
You can check in Discord, Aaron, I think. And here is our second place.
Looks like Zatrex is in here.
Oh,
GG Zatrex.
GG Zatrex. He has forfeit the game after Quinn has finished. GG's.
Yeah, that he didn't deserve to be finished.
And Quinn Patrick, our second place finisher, has just joined us. GG's. Well played. So I have one question for you. It is dodging, followed by
Yeah, I was going to get the armor, and then I was going to grind the golem on the spike to 17, and if there was a lot of strength or I had the death necklace, I might have even had a shot on that dive, and then a green dragon just dodges, and it's all out the window, and that, I don't know if that was quite enough time to cost me the race, but it sure didn't help.
No, you were already quite behind Aaron, who had found Rimmildar about 30 minutes before you did, which was really the big difference maker in this seed. But basically, you had a lead on exploration for a long time in this seed, and it's really finding the one tile path east of Swamp to get to Rimmildar that really slowed you down.
Yeah, it wasn't that I knew on my map that there was more up there. I just opted to go east of Swamp North first, because I didn't know. For all I knew, that's where I would find Rimmildar, so... Yeah, there you go. I mean, once I narrowed it down, I went right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that this one started out, all three were kind of trading XP leads at certain points, and at a certain point, Zatrex was in a desert zone with mid-game enemies and got out to a decent XP lead, while the other two racers were doing some exploration. So it was if you watch this one back, it was a very interesting watch, and a lot of different, this was a crazy map, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that map was really challenging. Everything important being in very remote locations. And armor and Charlock, and I mean, at least it wasn't chaos enemies to really throw us for a loop. But I also I encountered one of those wyverns that was breathing fire, and after I died to it once, the next one I ran into, I tried to run away, got run blocked, survived the fire breath, tried to put to sleep, failed the sleep, and got killed by it. I was getting knocked around in every conceivable way. The number of run blocks that I got in Charlock, I could have also done it on one less dive, potentially, if I hadn't gotten run blocked so much. It was just, I really couldn't catch a break. I mean, I'm not upset. I don't think any of my decisions that I made in that one were obviously something I shouldn't have done. But a lot of them were definitely not the right decision.
Sometimes agility is not just a number.
What was it? It was 70? I mean, 70's not that bad. I shouldn't be getting run blocked twice by a stone man.
Or 6 times by a wizard.
Yeah.
So I asked this question to Aaron. I want to ask it to the two of you as well. Seeing that weaponry was so out of reach financially, the copper sword was essentially the only thing you could afford that was less than 5,000 until you got keys. Did that influence the way that you thought about or approached the seed?
It definitely had me thinking I have to get out there and find Erdrick's sword before everyone else does, and I don't even remember where I found it, but yeah, a broadsword in this economy?
Yeah, it was pretty wild how expensive everything was. I didn't feel too threatened by it. I knew I'd find sword when I found sword. And I had, like you said, that grind in the desert was pretty nice for where the stats were at that stage in the game.
Yeah, I had found the Grave Zone with Druid Lords and Droll Magi, and the occasional Wraith Knight in kind of the hills east of Breckenary, and that was my ticket out of the very early levels. And then I was kind of almost strong enough to fight a Star Wyvern, but the attack power was so low that I was doing teens damage and couldn't damage race it. Just kind of one that conspired to be slow.
Yeah, I think my also GG everybody. I think I kept fighting random knights everywhere, and they were really helping me out because I didn't really. I think once I hit 1,000 experience, I didn't grind again until 13 when I went to the Axe Knight to get the sword. And I sat on that guy.
Hung out at one level while I explored the entire map, missing Remolder by one right turn for a half hour. I think that was one of the biggest difference makers.
Yeah, we were talking about it when I first got in here, but like I had the same problem with Remolder. I knew, like I eventually narrowed it down where it was. I knew from my map that there was more territory over there. I just didn't prioritize it after I found Swamp Cave. In hindsight, it probably would have been smarter to like clear out the area that I was at since it was so remote before going off and exploring the whole Northeast, which was like the massively wrong decision because that led to me, you know, finding staff and jerk before I needed it. Just, yeah, really unfortunate. I mean, it was a huge map and really confusing. And I wound up covering pretty much the whole thing. I think there was a little nubbin in the northwest that I kind of ruled out so you could sort of see it from start.
Yeah, clearing that northwest at like level, what was I? Level 9 was not pleasant. It was like I almost gained a level because all of the enemies there were pretty good, but it was awful. Yeah, I don't know why all that stuff should have pointed to me that we had vanilla zones, and for some reason it didn't click in my head until way too late. And I don't think it mattered tremendously, but I probably would have tried to grind a little bit somewhere if I'd known.
Yeah, I had the vanilla zones figured out pretty much instantly when I saw the slimes and red slimes around start. But I didn't like fully put it together or have it at the top of mind that it would be like Green Dragon and Swamp Cave Axe Knight in Hawksness. So that was I was kind of like, oh cool, an Axe Knight in Hawksness when I should have known that, but I don't think it made a difference.
Well, all three of you are still in the mix for making the playoffs, not eliminated by any means. Aaron, I think you've guaranteed yourself that top group billing, and Quinn and Zatrex, you just a win and you're in. Quinn could potentially get second and be in a tiebreak or an in situation. So looking forward to next week. How are you all feeling about potential group pairings or Week 5 flags?
So we're sure that it's going to be that you'll need at least 16 to get into the play-in race.
Yeah, it's not confirmed yet, but I have a feeling. I'm just looking. I updated the standings, and I see, oh look, there's Zatrex and Hoodie next to each other, and oh look, there's Ziggy and Quinn next to each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible Quinn and Zatrex are going to be my opponents next week, so that's interesting.
Actually, right now I see Angel, Ziggy, Quinn.
Oh yeah, man, Angel is right around there. Hopefully he'll get pushed into the group above me, and maybe they can have a slightly easier time.
Yeah, I'm going to have Beta and Diabetes, and the fourth person is still not completely determined, because I think, we don't have the two things up, or there's three people that could still, get into that mix. So once we get those updated, we should have the vodcast. I think, I don't know what the exact plan is, but I think we're planning on doing like a whole bunch on Sunday. So like, I think we're only waiting on one person now to finish up, and then everyone's done. So hey, everyone can practice for Week 5.
Talking about Week 5, so
Excited
yeah,
not
that's
to have
the
Big Swamp on again.
Is Big Swamp on? I can't remember.
No.
no.
This race was like the ultimate worst case scenario for Big Swamp. Like the swamp is just everywhere. There's armor in Charlock. Got to deal with it the entire seed. I mean, at least we didn't start in the swamp, but you had to cross the swamp to get anywhere.
Normal map as well, instead of a very small map.
Yeah, it was gargantuan.
Well, is there anything any of you would like to add? There will be no other live race this week. So as Aaron said, we're probably going to have the restream during the weekend. Anything you guys want to add before we finish tonight?
Thanks, guys, for putting on the restream. This was a really fun race. GG, Aaron. And I hope I do okay next week so I can get in and play some of that stair shuffle and playoff.
Yeah, man, we can't. This can't be our only match. I mean, we raced each other 5 times last year, so I would feel like lonely if we don't get to match up again.
What was the record in that? Let's see. I guess is it 5 times if you count the tiebreaker?
Yeah, we were 2-2 until the tiebreaker.
Okay. I mean tiebreaker or whatever. It doesn't really count.
Yeah, no more tiebreaker. Yay. Well, hopefully not. If somebody ties to the second, that's going to be pretty impressive.
I mean, some of these, we haven't been that far off a race that close. A couple of these. Anywho, thanks again, guys. I guess Zatrex is the only one who hasn't said anything.
Yeah, thanks guys for the race. I'm looking forward to the rewatch and greatly appreciate everyone who helped out. Flower Power, thank you for the restream. We can't do this without you. And Hoodie and Ziggy, looking forward to listening. You guys are always great on the comms. And RG and Artorias, I hope you had fun. Even though person only tracked one of us.
Well, unless anybody else has anything that they'd like to get out, I think that we may be raiding on over to Speed Gaming for some Z1R action. So again, thank you to all of the racers and the volunteers here, and look out tomorrow for some potential vodcasts of the async races that were done. And next week will be a very exciting week with playoff implications. So stay tuned. We are very glad to have all of you here. Thanks so much for watching, and hope to see you watching into Week 5 and the playoffs. Take care.